No, the title to this video is not clickbait. And yes, I do actually have an announcement. So please stick till the end and unless you're really impatient, and you can just fast forward to the end now. Hello and welcome to an update video. About time, right? It's been 6 months since I posted a video, and if you are new here, my name is Melissa. I'm an American expat currently living in Shanghai, China, and yeah, I make content about living here and living abroad. So to start off with, let's talk about why I was gone in May and June, because that was a little bit of a different reason as to the other rest of the time. So in May and June, I was basically wrapping up my schoolwork. I had so much schoolwork going on. It was a very, very big semester for me, very busy semester for me. I'm currently getting my master's in library science online with a school back in Oklahoma, where I'm from. And yeah, it really took up a lot of time. On top of that, we were preparing to go on a trip for the summertime to Europe. And so I was prepping for that. I have my notes here, by the way. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. But another reason why was, other than being busy and staying inside a lot, I was staying inside because the air quality was really bad. Last winter into the spring, the air was just, it was just really bad. And I didn't want to go outside. I really had done a lot of the exploring that I had already wanted to do. I'd kind of checked a lot of things off my list. And so being busy and then not wanting to go outside and just kind of hunkering down and being a homebody, it didn't really lend itself to making videos about Shanghai. So that was the main reason why I took a break. Also, I had been pumping content out for 2 years at that point, and I was just ready for some time off. Then it brings us to our summer in France. So let's see, that's May, June. At the end of June, we left for Europe. We flew into London and had a wonderful time with some really great friends. And then we went into Paris and got to see my brother and his family. That was absolutely one of the best days of my entire life, getting to spend a day with my brother in Paris. That was just like a bucket list item I didn't know I had. So that was a wonderful start to our trip. From there, we went out to Normandy, France, and we stayed with our friends. We were planning to stay there for a full month, and then from there, we were going to go on to Germany. So while we were in France, I ended up having an accident. It was probably the scariest moment of my life. I almost died. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, you may have been familiar with the myelopathy that I had at the beginning of my journey here to China. I ended up having complete numbness in both of my arms, and it was due to a disc that had kind of protruded into my spinal cord. I had been going to physical therapy for 2 years and had finally found relief from that. Thought things were doing really well. Some of the numbness had kind of come back on my trip, and that was a little scary, but it wasn't bad. One day we were at the ocean and I decided to dive into a wave because I've done it 1,000 times as a kid growing up, going to the ocean. And after I dove into the wave, the undercurrent basically, and if you're squeamish, you might want to fast forward to this, by the way. Let me put that disclaimer. It actually, in a way, the only word I could say is it gave me whiplash. It pushed my head backwards very quickly, and I actually went completely paralyzed from the neck down for a couple minutes. I was incredibly lucky and blessed that for some miracle reason, I was pushed backwards onto my back after that happened. And so I was able to move my head up and keep it above water long enough for my son to notice me and save my life. I then was transported to a local hospital where I was given another MRI, and it said the same thing as it said before. I have a disc that is pushing on my spinal cord, but now it's worse. And now I have to have surgery. Not if, but when. And so like sometimes it's like hard for me to talk about it, but I was incredibly lucky. I was incredibly lucky to be alive, and I knew that I needed to make the choice to have surgery immediately in France. And so that's what we did. So I had a neck brace on for about 2 weeks, and then at the end of July, I had surgery in France. And actually, you can see my scar that's here. I had disc replacement surgery, and if anybody's interested, I can give you more information on that. It's called the Mobi-C. I don't have a fusion. That's a whole different, conversation, but it was a successful surgery. I was actually in Caen, which is one of the best, if not the best place to be in France for these sort of surgeries and for any neuropathic type of injuries. I had an amazing doctor, Dr. Nisao Kisao. Thank you very much. You're amazing. And I, came out of surgery, was able to go home the next day. And then I took about a week to recuperate at our friend's house, who, by the way, my friends, oh my gosh, Lise and Guillaume, you are literally a godsend, and I am so blessed to have you as my friends. I will never be able to thank you enough for everything you did for my family and taking care of me as well. And so that was a rough week trying to recuperate from that, not in your own space, and you're trying to navigate being in a foreign country. It just was a very surreal experience. So that is why I didn't film really anything while we were in Europe. I definitely was not in the mood to do any sort of like deep editing or anything like that. So after we left France, we went to Germany, had a wonderful time with some of our friends in Heidelberg. And then from there, we were in Strasbourg for about a week, and then we flew out of Frankfurt back to Shanghai. So, sorry, my bangs, I don't know if you noticed, I have bangs now, and they're growing out, and they're a little annoying right now. I keep messing with them. So that brings me to the final portion of the video, and that is the big announcement. So we came back to Shanghai, and we were just living our life. Everything was good. Something was off though. And I don't know how to explain that other than just my intuition. There was something that wasn't right. And unfortunately, I was proved correct because my husband was actually laid off from his job. This was a surprise and a shock to everyone, including his coworkers. We just didn't see it coming. It was not something, we thought if it was going to happen, because there's definitely been grumblings, especially within the international school world here in China. It's been a little volatile, but we thought for sure if anything were to happen, it would have happened over the summer or next year. But yeah, it was a big surprise halfway through the first semester. So because of this, and because of this very sudden change in our situation, me and my family have decided to move back to the United States. This was not something that we took lightly. This is not something that was ever actually even a thought in our mind. We genuinely were, in it for the long haul. We wanted to be international, at least till our kids graduated. But that was not that's not our story. So we are heading back to Oklahoma. That's actually where we're from. And we will be living and working, and I'm going to be getting a job and all the things. That will be in December. So me and the kids will be heading back in December. My husband will stay through January, through the end of the semester. And yeah, we'll be transitioning back to the United States, which, what a time. What a time to be going back to the US. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And if you are all interested, I know a lot of you are here for the China content. And that kind of brings me to my final thing I have on my notes here, and that is plans for the channel moving forward. I would love to share about life back in America. I would love to share about getting a job and like all of the little nuances that go on with someone that has lived a life abroad and then having to start completely over again, because that's literally what we're doing. We sold everything. We don't have a car. We don't have a house. I don't own like anything. I have like a box of mementos. Some of my kitchen stuff my mom has, but really it's going to be starting completely over. So I hope you stay around, and if you're interested, please let me know in the comments below. I think that transitioning your channel into something else is always difficult. I know I'm probably going to lose people, and that's okay. You probably don't want to watch America, to be honest, and I get that. But yeah, that's my life. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out or commented on anything that I've posted lately. I truly, truly appreciate your kind words and your encouragement. And I am here. I am alive. I'm well. And I hope that you will stick around for whatever I decide to share. And so, yeah, that's it for now. I don't know how much I will be sharing in the next few months. I will try. I will honestly say I will try. It may not be the most aesthetically pleasing or fun videos, but it might just be, hey, this is what we're doing. This is us, packing up, and this is what it looks like to be moving clear across the world again. But again, thank you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.